This right here is yet another sign of one of the big issues plaguing the online realm of Forza Horizon 6. Because y'all remember from launch, everybody was complaining about drag tires. How can drag tires give you the best acceleration, great grip, you don't lose anything in the turns, and it lowers your performance index so much that you can even upgrade cars that shouldn't be in this class? And to Playground Games' credit, they saw that that was a problem and they did something about it. But unfortunately, there is another tire that, while isn't as good as drag tires, can let you take S2 cars and drop them all the way down to S1, or worse, take a mid S2 vehicle and then drop that thing all the way down to A-class racing by simply changing the tire. It's just weird that the off-road tire is the best road tire in 90% of situations without any drawbacks to your car's handling. And speaking of that old drag tire meta, my drag tire time is still up here, and if you see my Ghost, you'll understand that my acceleration was insane. And a casual run in the drag tire car could get a top 1400 time, which I know isn't crazy, but as you'll see by comparison, untuned and ready to rock, this Lamborghini Sian is going to actually put up a competitive performance against this Ford GT. And much like the drag tires from the previous meta, these off-road tires allow you to bring cars that are way above grade in performance and chop them down, but still handle well, still perform great in the straights, still perform better in the turns, perform good in the street and off-road, and it's the best of too many worlds. And outside of S2 and R-Class, make a lot of the other tire compounds pretty much irrelevant. And as someone who primarily enjoys street racing, you can't even bring R-Class cars to these events. It's capped at S2. But as you see, this little run with my Ghost, which wasn't a sweat run, I wasn't putting pedal to the metal, I wasn't doing a 2-hour grind session to try to min-max each and every turn. It's just a casual run, and you're gonna see that in some parts, I'm ahead of the Ford GT. In some parts, I'm neck and neck with it. Ultimately, I lose by, I want to say, a third of a second, but the fact that it's competitive with, as you saw, these busted super accelerator drag builds that we used to run, which they still haven't taken the times off the leaderboards, as you can clearly see. And we're not saying that like drag tires should be removed from the game, because no, they should really excel in going in a straight line. And if you're trying to turn your car, yeah, it should be a little bit of a struggle. If you want to bring drag tires to a race that isn't just a straight line, you might find it tougher to wiggle through turns, and there needs to be some difficulty there, and that is what Playground Games has decided to implement into the game. Off-road tires should not be smoking in 95% of situations in both S1 and A-class racing. I just don't like that. And I'm not saying kill off-road tires and only make off-road tires good off-road, and maybe have niche applications elsewhere, but it definitely shouldn't be the main event VIP Mr. Presidente in S1 and A-class races while dominating rally, dirt, cross-country, street, and road races. I just think that's a little bit nonsensical. And please believe me, I am not saying that it is as bad as the drag cars, because anything that had a lot of straightaways, those cars were basically untouchable by any other build. And now I'm going to show you, if we take a modern Ford GT, slap the off-road tires on it, you'll see right off rip, I am nowhere near in the same tier as the old acceleration. However, in some of the turns, I'm able to take some dynamic angles that my drag build wasn't necessarily able to take. And you're gonna see, we're gonna fast forward, I'm not gonna show you all this to show the same race again. We post a better time by not just 1, but 2.5 seconds almost. Oh, my mistake, I'm modest. Over 3 seconds worth, dropping us from 1300 all the way down to a top 500 global time. Also, I'm not sure why it says the car is rear-wheel drive, because it's clearly all-wheel drive, as you guys can see here. We also might have to look at all-wheel drives as well, because if you're someone who likes drifting, all-wheel drive has such a huge advantage on rear-wheel drive, because these AWD Drift Kings can just put up the same amount of points as you with like less than 5% of your effort. Like at least split the all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive leaderboards up just a smidge, perhaps, in drift, because some of you have to do relatively consistent throttle management and everyone else is doing AWD go burn. Like, it's not even the same game at that point. And speaking of all-wheel drive, if you're looking at the screen right now, you'll see that like we're cooking in the Tokyo City docks. And not only are we cooking, we're good looking. And much like the view in first place, my schedule is open, so I'm looking for bookings. This car tears through the straights, it eats through the turns, and the car is very solid in all aspects that you would need to have in a street race, road race. But that's not the point that I want to make, because as you guys will clearly see here, the car goes exactly where I tell it to go. And yes, all these turns are very intentional, so I can get wider and therefore have more power coming through the turn as opposed to slowing to a crawl and then having to re-accelerate. And as you can see, we win this handily. And not only do we win this race, we clean sweep. And I know what you're thinking, okay, but that's on the road, that's on street. What about off-road? Since you're talking about these tires being so good at so many things, well, let me boot up a cross-country race in the exact same car, exact same tune. And hey, would you look at that? We just so happen to start off at the back of the starting grid. And usually that doesn't necessarily mean much, but usually it puts you at a little bit of a disadvantage unless your car is significantly superior to most of the competition. And once again, as you can see, a lot of these cross-country roads also start off with sections with asphalt, but it doesn't matter. We're going through the air. We're on frost-bitten snow ground. It's all right. We're gonna zoom by these people into the first turn, take it like a beauty, no slip and slide because we're on off-road tires. And yeah, as you can see, it just does not matter. Now, granted, there's a Honda Beat in front of me, and from what I can tell, it looks like they also were repping Team Offroad Tires. But even if they weren't, I don't think that a car with the exact same build, no modifications, should be able to three-peat, clean sweep consistently in street and road races. And then also, even when not driven necessarily perfect, as you guys see here, I'm a flawed creature who may or may not even be good at the game, might suck, who knows, but could still hold their own with the exact same car off-road when other people are coming here with cars that are specifically tuned to handle off-road situations. And outside of the Honda Beat, there wasn't a single person in this lobby who could even give me half of a challenge, because as you can see, they clean swept, they got 60 points, and I walked away with less than that because I was only here for 2 out of the 3 races. But they were here for all 3, and apparently they cooked everybody. And while it's a lesser problem in S1, in A, this is pretty agonizing. That you could just build one car and just smoke everything walking, regardless of the circumstances of dirt, cross country, or road or street races. I feel like the tire is way too versatile and rewards you far too much. And I don't want to sit over here and be like, hashtag Tiregate, but let's be honest, I feel as though the entire tire system needs to be overhauled on how it affects your car's performance index. And once again, I am not saying, allow me to reiterate, I am not saying nerf off-road tires into oblivion to where you can't do anything with them on the street. But at the very least, can we recalculate or at the very least recalibrate the current PI formula? Because I don't think switching to a tire that's good at so many things should lower a car's performance index from like 730 down to 700, or in some of the S1 cars cases, going from like 870 all the way down to 800 flat, but it has a mechanical makeup of an S2 car, a strong S2 car. And y'all just let me know what y'all think. I'm tired of it. Maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe it's just, brother, just don't play A and S1. Just stick to S2 and R and C and D. And you know what? Maybe that is the future. It just sucks that a lot of my cars are in the A and S1 tier. Anyways, y'all let me know. Is Tiregate something that y'all are worried about, have complaints about, or is this just another case of guy with microphone makes mountain out of molehill, news at 6? Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Y'all take care. Also, don't patch this. Don't patch spawning inside the house, because this is just funny.